Hey everybody, this is Robot here, Vespa Motorsport, scooterwest.com here in San Diego. Right here we got a 2018 Vespa GTS 300 and a brand new color for 2018. But today I'm going to talk about batteries for the Vespa GT, GTS, the Super, and also the GTV. There's some confusion when it comes to the batteries for these scooters. You see I got 3 different batteries right here. But because they've used 3 different styles or sizes of batteries over the years. I'll start with the GT200, which was made somewhere around 2001. US got it a little bit later. All the way, it was made up till about as late as 2009. I think officially about 2007 is the latest one. But if you have a GT200, it's always going to use the YTX 12BS battery. That's the battery that's gonna they used on all those years. If you have an early GTS 250 or GTV, very early ones, I'm talking 2006, 2007, right up to 2008, some of them, they have a non-sealed battery. This battery is kind of garbagey, but it's the battery that the tray accommodates. And the battery size is a YB10LB. It's a conventional battery. You can see the liquid level, and right now they're all to the full. Unfortunately, you got to keep up the liquid on these batteries. On that range of 250 Vespa scooters, they use this battery. I don't recommend installing the other batteries. It is possible to swap the trays out. The reason being is those early GTS 250s have a very unique battery terminal. And when those battery terminals are used to try to make connections to the sealed batteries, they sometimes, the positive can make contact to the metal frame of the scooter. And I've heard of the electrical harness having a fire as a result and burning the battery and the cover as well. And I've seen it firsthand actually. It's not a safe thing to do. Eventually I do have a mod that converts the wiring harness where it's got longer wires that will accommodate the later sealed batteries. We'll go into that some other time. That's a whole separate video. For around 2009 and some of the very early GTS 300s, they used the YTX 14 battery. It's a little bit taller than the 12 amp battery. That's the more common battery. The tray is a shallower tray that accommodates this size battery. The battery terminal arrangement is identical. But for the majority of 300s, nearly all the 300s from late 2010 on, and so some of the 250s, including, they use the YTX 12BS, which is found right here. This is the most common battery that's used across the Vespa range of 200, 250, and 300. So most frequently you'd find this size battery in the scooter. Here we got a brand new scooter and it's never had the battery installed. And this is the factory battery. It's got the Piaggio part number on it. Same. These two are brand new replacement Yuasa aftermarket batteries. Nice thing about the Yuasa batteries sold here in the States, they are made in USA in Reading, Pennsylvania. This one, I'm not sure where it's made, maybe Italy, factory in Italy or overseas somewhere. A lot of people ask me about the lithium phosphate batteries or lithium ion batteries. I have some in my own personal bikes and scooters. They do have a very low self-discharge on them, so if you're not going to use the scooter frequently, they have the potential to last longer. But they're much more finicky of a battery technology. None of them are true direct fits for these original lead acid batteries. My recommendation is just stick with the original good quality Yuasa battery. They tend to, if you use the scooter regularly, you tend to get a pretty good service life out of them. If you let the batteries go dead, they're not going to hold up that well. And I'll tell you, the lithium batteries, they suffer the most if you allow the battery to drain down below about, I don't know, 11.5, 12 volts. So not a good idea. They might be lighter. I just don't really recommend them. I like them. Technology is promising, but they don't really belong in these Vespas. So I'm going to go ahead and install this battery. Since a lot of people tend to use scooters infrequently or not much over the winter, the battery is a little difficult to access. So oftentimes we'll install a a lead to plug an external battery charger, such as a battery tender or an Optimate battery charger. This is a nice quality sealed connector on it. I found these are really nice quality. This is the Optimate one, and we sell this. Anytime we sell a brand new scooter, these are included with the scooter as well. So to remove the battery cover, there's going to be 4 fasteners. Pretty much 2011 and later, it's going to be a T25 Torex driver. Anything prior is going to be a number 2 Phillips style screw. Inside your scooter, there's a toolkit inside the glove box. I just went ahead and pressed the key if you're not familiar with that. And in this toolkit, there's both a Phillips driver, and on the later scooters, there's the Torex Star style driver. So everything you need to change the battery is actually included with your scooter. So just keep that in mind if you're on the side of the road with a dead battery, or just want to replace the battery somewhere where you're not, don't have tools accessible. So go ahead and remove all 4 screws. We got the other 3 out. Underneath here is these little clips. They're all pretty tight right now. I'll just show you what they look like though. These clips, the sheet metal screws thread into these metal clips. And oftentimes as they wear out, or if you over tighten the screws, the clips will become damaged. Part number on these, if you ever want replacement clips, is CM017410. I think that's right. Maybe Scott will look it up and put it on the YouTube video. On this 2018 scooter, you have the 2 battery leads that are designed to exactly fit the battery. They're kind of the nicest design. The prior designs of the battery wires, they're kind of a little bit longer, little more hokey. In here is the battery tray. You got to make sure that battery tray is there. I see a lot of scooters come in, people throw the battery tray away. I'm not sure why, but not really the best idea. Right here is your main fuse. So if you accidentally reverse the battery terminals, which is very difficult to do with this arrangement of cables, it will blow the main fuse, which is a 30 amp fuse. So I'm going to start by putting in the battery charging leads. Now again, this is a completely optional step, but it's great if you want to get in here and charge the battery. I'm going to go ahead and put it through this hole right here. You can see my finger coming up right through that. And you drop the cable right through this hole. Normally there'd be a rubber plug that's located in this hole. This is the rubber plug. It will pry right out if it's already installed. And I'm going to show how to trim this rubber plug to carefully route the wiring. So I got the wiring in place. I have my brand new battery. You can watch one of my other videos that covers on testing your battery. I think it's just a general checkup of your Vespa. So I dropped the 2 well nuts right into place. Sometimes I'll even put the screws in, just to kind of keep the well nuts in place. You want to hold your leads out of the way, make sure the battery tray is all the way situated to the bottom, and go ahead and drop the battery right in. Again, this is the correct battery for the correct application right here. I'm going to start with wiring your positive lead. You can see that some of this wiring is a little tight right here. This is the fuse holder for the battery tender. It tends to fit very nicely right in that the little well that's built into the battery. Now go ahead and pull the single screw out. And you're going to need to push this in, especially when they're brand new. It's a little tighter. And I can't stress, you got to go tight on these. I mean, don't take a wrench to them. I know they're a 10mm head, but tighten them pretty much as tight as you can tighten them with a hand screwdriver. I'm gonna, the negative terminal drops right on, and I have my negative for the battery tender, which is black. Black is negative, and you'll see on the front of the battery they have a positive. I just kind of know what the polarity arrangements of these Vespa batteries are, so it doesn't, like I said, it's, make sure you kind of, if you're not familiar with this, make sure you got it the correct way. So the nice thing is it's all tucked in here pretty well. This is double insulated, so it's, even though it's resting on top of the bare terminal, it's not going to affect anything. Sometimes you want to tuck that in there. Gives you access to those 2 screws. Batteries installed. I can hear the fuel pump coming on. Everything powers up. No issues there. You want to drop this strap in here. This strap, if you put it this direction, it won't fit. You put it this direction, this is the way it goes. The oval hole goes towards the front. On the older scooters, it's going to be a number 3, a larger Phillips screw. On the newer scooters, it's going to be a T30 Torex. Again, included in your toolkit. I start with the rear fastener, then move to the front. This strap is really important. Again, I see a lot of scooters come through here. Somebody replaces the battery, they just throw this thing away like, oh, I don't need it. Guess what happens? The battery sits there vibrating around and the 2 terminals come loose, or it damages the battery. The battery, you know, it can be affected by vibration as well. So when it's strapped with the frame, it minimizes the vibration, isolates, you know, nothing's going anywhere. It doesn't move anywhere. So that's pretty much how you install the battery. And you can see there's a special channel in the cover here that allows for the wiring right there. You got to keep it all right there. You can't have any of the wiring going underneath the strap. And see how it just fits perfect? That's indication you got the battery and all the wiring perfectly set up. And all the clips are in place, so these install without any problems. And I'll show you how to button up the battery tender lead underneath. So I got the charging lead right underneath here. This is the rubber plug that normally goes in the frame. It's never been installed on the scooter since it's brand new. And I'm going to go ahead and make a slot for where the wire will go through. I can see it right where I put it. And I have a nice sharp X-Acto blade. Take care not to cut your fingers. And you could just cut a little slot in it is all you need. And, you know, that frame, there's other holes underneath here. That don't have plugs, so it's not really anything that critical. I like putting these, some people like having the battery tender leads a little more accessible, you know, up at the top of the scooter so you don't have to bend down. I tend to like to install them where they're less visible. These rubber plugs, they're never that exciting to put in. Sometimes you need to, you know, use a screwdriver or spray some lubricant of some sort on there, WD-40 or whatever, just to kind of get them situated up into the frame. There we go. So now it's a nice little slot that insulates the wire very well. And there's a little bit of slack. And underneath here is the frame member. And you could take So underneath here is a frame member. And the cool thing about this style lead is it's got 2 slots. You can go around that frame member and go right through the slot. And secure the thing. And if you don't want the tag, you cut that off. And there you go. So there's your connection to charge the battery right there. And it has a nice cover. One thing I find sometimes with the ones without covers is the terminal is going to become corroded over time and you won't get a reliable charge. All right, so I hope this video helps shed some light on changing out the battery, or if you have any questions where the battery is on a 200, 250, or 300cc Vespa scooter. See everybody next time. This is Robot here, Vespa Motorsport, scooterwest.com here in San Diego. Until next time.